VCT Americas has started its final stretch to Champions pairs this weekend with the start of Stage 2. And with teams bringing in talented rookies, unexpected veterans, or sticking it out with their squad, this first weekend of Stage 2 was insane to watch. If you missed out on the action, be sure to watch the video the whole way through, and subscribe to keep up to date with VCT Americas and the road to Champions. Now on to the first match of the weekend, Cloud9 vs FURIA. On one side, Cloud9 have finally stuck with the roster for more than a few months, keeping this team together since the beginning of the season, and for good reason. And on the other side, FURIA went winless in Stage 1, so they had a complete roster overhaul, bringing in 4 new players and a new coach. But unfortunately, FURIA would be facing visa issues once again, leaving FURIA to play with Adverso, Cruz IGL from earlier this year, and not have their coaches in the venue. Considering that Cloud9 are regular season merchants, this series was already expected to be a stomp from them, but FURIA's circumstances made this even worse. This series would open on Haven, where both teams would be picking Viper, with FURIA picking Neon as their duelist and Sova as their initiator, while Cloud9 would pick Jet and Sky. And with the very first round, we would realize that this would not be a normal game.
Trades inside and Vic is like climbing a time. It's run short. Not enough time. That's a pistol round to FURIA.
C9 would immediately clean up in the next round though, winning the eco, but the time would consistently be a problem for them in their attacking half. In the end, they'd lead the half with a small 7-5 lead.
Direction can you possibly go in?
Have to go to C.
Forwards, you have to, don't you, Vic? Got to try and TP forwards potentially and just trusting your team to defend, but there's only 6 seconds left and you're just swinging around, man. Head on a bloody swivel, Hunter's Fury locks it out, and that is a hell of a way to end the half. What is going on? Don't ask me.
But on defense, we'd see exactly why Cloud9 has kept this roster together. A flawless defense half would give Cloud9 the map at 13-5. And the question on everyone's mind was obviously, what was going on during that attack half?
I don't think there was that many mistakes, so to speak, but we've been working on staying calm in high-pressure situations, so we've been letting the clock go low, making sure we stay calm, and this was a big test for us, and I think the guys did stay calm. We just need to close out the rounds a little bit faster, but over the season, things will get faster.
The second map of the series would be Bind, a map we haven't seen in the pool since Bangkok, so it'd be interesting to see what comps the teams come through with this time. Both sides would play pretty similar comps, with the double smokes and solo Sky, but their difference in Sentinel will be interesting to see, with Cloud9 picking Vice and FURIA picking Deadlock. C9 would come out swinging from round 1 this map.
Early on, because now that showstopper is going to be a nightmare in like round 3, presumably.
Potentially the bonus.
And this would set the precedent for the rest of the map, with Cloud9 picking up a 9-3 half, firing on all cylinders. And in the second half, this insane 1v4 clutch from Net would essentially seal FURIA's fate in this series.
But beautifully done. Beautifully done. Zephyr cleans it up. Absolute dominance from C9 on their map pick.
The second series of the opening day was Loud vs LEVIATAN, an exciting game. Both sides came into this one with major roster changes, bringing in 2 rookies and a new head coach, so it would be a very fun one to watch.
Sorry, I just had to step in, because it seems that Destiny has brought us together this day, because you seem like someone who would appreciate some fine art. So come inside. I just so happened to have received a new bundle of Supreme posters, perfect for your wall, created by the Entropy Wizard himself. But rest assured, each print comes on a glossy paper, ready to shine with all original artwork. And because of the sweet deal I got with these bad boys, I'll throw a few of you a deal of my own. Buy 1 poster and add a mystery poster to your order with the code CHAOSDUO. I'll give you 40% off that mystery poster. I change my deals every so often, so make sure you check back regularly on EntropyWizardPosters.com.
On the side of LEVIATAN, they brought in Sato and Okeanos from Challenger's team at Mady, and promoting Desmo to head coach, while Loud will be bringing in Robbie BK from Europe and Verdi from Latin America, while bringing in new head coach Leader. The Loud changes were definitely much more significant, with the team now communicating in English for the first time ever. The first map of this series will be Bind, and we'd see quite a bit of a difference in comps compared to the Cloud9 game. Both teams would still be picking double smokes comps, but with Gecko instead of a Sentinel. And while Loud would play the Sky, LEVIATAN would pick Fade, leaving both teams with double initiator comps. On top of that, LEVIATAN would opt to put their new duelist Sato on Yoru, while Loud would put Verdi onto Raze. This map would open with LEVIATAN taking the pistol round, but an eco win for Loud would allow them to take the lead in this half. LEVIATAN would not be going down without a fight though. King gets the kill on Verdi. Ooh, and wait, hold on. That's how he gets the first kill? Bro, I thought it was... And maybe Sato is back? Never left, buddy. In the end, Loud would still lead the half at 7-5. LEVIATAN would start the second half hot though, with 5 rounds in a row,
fully found success in getting out onto the site. And with Tex holding the line left and right. Gets so much harder right now. Calm is left in a 1v1 with utility in hand. Has to take a step back. Birdie on the tap, not committing onto it quite yet as the haunt is cleared. Birdie sticking it to half, and what a shot! But there's not going to be enough time. Beautifully played as Lev gets a 10.
And although Loud would fight back a bit, Lev would take the map at 13-11.
Birdie will fall. Lev take bind.
This map would be an insane debut from LEVIATAN, Sato, and Okeanos, being the 2 top fraggers on their team.
Out and gets 2 kills onto the site. Oh! Make that 3 and Sato looks for more. Calm over his shoulder, Lev get to 11.
This kid's a beast, Doug.
Nah, you are too clean, bro. You are too clean.
This series wasn't over though, as we'd be going into Loud's pick of Ascent for the second map. Both sides would pick pretty standard comps here, giving us a mirror matchup. This first half will be quite back and forth, with both sides having big individual moments, ending in Lev having a 7-5 lead. Loud would pick up steam in the second half though, going up 11-8. And although Lev would look to be coming back with a clean win in round 20, Luxio would shut them out in round 21, leading Loud to win the map at 13-10 and send this series to the third and final map.
Never mind, it's actually them who are aggressing. Luxio's there to hold the line. Whoa! Make that 3! What a hold from the Sentinel! But it might just be poetic. An eye by power ace as Loud gets to map point. King's already here. The flash connects. It's all on to King on the flank, but he's not able to settle onto the last. But he cannot connect. We're going the distance. We're going to Icebox.
The last map of the series would be Icebox, and we'd see similar comps from both sides, but with very different implications. LEVIATAN would pick the Viper Harbor comp that they've been playing pretty consistently since 2023, with Jet, Killjoy, and Sova alongside them. And while Loud would also be picking Jet, Killjoy, Sova, and Viper, their second controller would be Omen, and they'd be switching their roles a bit to run this comp. Rather than having Luxio on his usual Sentinel role, it would be Robbie BK on Killjoy and Luxio on Omen, giving Luxio a more aggressive role in this map. With Omen's teleport, Luxio would be able to do some insane things and get away with it because of his incredible mechanics, which we saw almost immediately at the beginning of this game.
That seems to be just fine. Whoa! Luxio getting wild with it.
This would be a consistent theme that we saw in this map, and Loud would take a pretty solid lead because of it, going up 8-4 on defense. Once LEVIATAN went on to their defense half though, they'd pick up some steam. But Loud were of course still in the server, and despite their changes, still have the best players in Brazil. This might be doable for the 2022 Champs MVP.
This would be heartbreak.
Oh my gosh, he really wants this round.
And all of a sudden, this threat gets so much more real, so much more dangerous. It's bait. It's just a game.
Oh my gosh!
Out on top.
4 rounds in a row at the end would give Loud the map at 13-11, giving them the series at 2-1 and a great start for this roster.
Still so much time left to play them out. The op not going to connect. Calentine is there on the swing. He punishes the youngster. Calentine gets them both. The series goes the way of Loud.
A player I don't think I talked about enough this series was Verdi. Despite Sato's great map 1 and Luxio's crazy play this series, Verdi was incredible the whole way throughout, showing he most definitely deserved this tier 1 opportunity. The second day of the weekend would be another day of young rookies debuting, with the first series of the day being 2G versus Evil Geniuses. EG came very close to Masters Toronto, but a few thrown rounds would leave the tournament just out of their grasp, and this match would be their return, with a bit of a change in their roles. On the other side, 2G finally had Spike alongside them on the stage, ready to take over the server. Spike was the guy for 2G in their Ascension run, but due to his age, he wasn't able to start competing in VCT Americas until now. 2G would be making another change from their Stage 1 roster though, bringing Prize back into the team after a short stint with FURIA. This series would open on Sunset, where EG would make a pretty interesting comp choice, playing a comp that is more common on Ascent with Jet, Sova, KO, Omen, and Cypher. Meanwhile, 2G would pick a more standard comp on this map, with Neon, Sova, Breach, Omen, and Cypher. This map would open very back and forth, with neither side picking up a comfortable lead. But one consistent thing we had in this opening half was Spike popping off.
A little bit of help, he's gonna need a little bit of support. Spike gets it down to 1v1. Known for moments like these, known for positions such as these, and it's actually Spike who comes out on top.
The first half would end in a 6-6 tie, but 2G would run away with the second half, taking the map at 13-7.
Gobera threatening, pushing, swinging, and delivering for 2G as they take map 1.
The statement of the map is the debut of Spike. He shows up on a tier 1 stage and drops 27 kills. in his first ever map.
The second map, Lotus, would give us another shocking comp choice from Evil Geniuses, with them picking something similar to their old Lotus comp. With Teho now out of the meta, EG picked Chamber to replace him, which seems like a pretty reasonable choice. You have the man that basically made the Chamber meta in 2022, and they've played Yeon Chamber a few times this year.
Derek is locking a Chamber when El Diablo's on the team. What is going on?
2G would come in with a double initiator comp, picking Breach, Fade, Neon, Viper, and Omen, and with that, the map would be underway. EG would open this map with a 5-1 lead, but 2G would claw their way back to bring the map to 6-6. In the second half, EG would start with another 5-1 lead in the half, putting them up 11-7. 2G would start to build a bit of a comeback, but EG would close the map out at 13-11, sending the series to the final map ascent. On this last map, both sides would switch their duelists, with Ye now being on Jett and Icy being on Cypher, and Spike now being on Kayle while Silence played Jett. EG did this in map 1 as well, making it seem like they really want to commit to Ye on Jett for the maps she's played on. This is something 2G has been doing for a while though, with Spike and Silence making the switch a lot during their Ascension run. This first half would be pretty back and forth, ending with 2G having a small lead of 7-5. And although they'd open the second half with the pistol and anti-eco win, EG would wipe the rest of the map. 8 rounds in a row led EG to take the map at 13-9, giving them the series at 2-1 and starting their split 1-0. The second series of the day would be MIBR vs Crew, a match that caught a lot of attention for multiple reasons. Crew would be coming into the series with a new player, dropping Adverso for Dante Daves, someone who'd made waves during his Ascension run with All Knights last year as their star duelist. Yes, you heard me right. Crew picked up a new duelist player, pushing Kesnet onto the smokes role, and Melzer would be back as the IGL. On the other side, MIBR were a very high interest team coming into stage 2, but not for good reason. Quite the opposite actually. MIBR looked pretty solid going into Masters Toronto, but looked horrendous at the actual tournament, with Ospas being the second lowest rated player there, and the only player rated below him was his IGL Artzine. So, the interest on this team was if they could bounce back from a performance that terrible. This series would open on the newest map Corrode, giving us our first look at it in VCT Americas. MIBR would play a double duelist comp this map, with Artzine on Yoru and Ospas on Raze. On the other side, Crew would go with double smokes comp, picking Omen and Viper, as well as Neon, Vice, and Fade. So quite a bit of variation on both sides. This map would open with MIBR taking the pistol and anti-eco, but 3 rounds in a row for Crew would give them the slightest lead. MIBR would dominate the rest of the half though, going on to take an 8-4 lead. Crew would build a bit of a comeback in the second half, but it wouldn't be very convincing, with MIBR closing the map at 13-9. The second map Ascent would give us a treat, with Crew picking a comp we've seen quite a bit this year, with Jett, Yoru, Silva, Omen, and Cypher. And with a double duelist comp, that meant Kesnet on duelist, more specifically Yoru. And there's not really much to talk about other than that, because he made sure this one ended quickly.
Lit up, in fact, by the scan. Just caught onto him and it leaves it to Kesnet in a 1v2 now. Flash forwards, not holding anything back. Not anything back at all. He's found the players. He knows the last. The drone reveals it. Right to the corner. You gotta get out of it. Verno! Ah! He's caught in the corner. Don't do it to him. And Kesnet collects. They're already dead.
A 22-6 stat line and a 13-1 finish on the map. It's almost like this guy's one of the best duelist players in the world. The third and final map, Haven, would give us a mirror matchup, with both sides playing the ISO Yoru comp. This map would open with Crew taking an 8-4 lead pretty convincingly. MIBR would put up a fight in the second half, but newly reappointed IGL Melzer would shut that down.
Now it's scored for. 3-2-1 onto the swing. It's the better weaponry surely that saves the day for on one bullet. Melzer!
Melzer will be the playmaker again.
Guns drop down. No! What a shot! Is that? First dart sent wide, barrels poking. Melzer wants to try and take this together. There's your ace.
There would be a few more rounds from MIBR, but Crew were able to close the map at 13-10, giving them the series at 2-1 and leaving MIBR a little longer with this disappointment. The third and final day of the weekend gave us 2 highly anticipated games, but let's start with the first one. 100 Thieves vs NRG was hyped up for a few reasons. Firstly, NRG were popping off during the VCT break. After FNS's retirement, NRG picked up longtime Challengers talent Scuba, putting Ethan back onto the IGL role. And although it was questioned after their terrible showing last time Ethan IGL'd, those questions would be silenced, with NRG dominating the EWC qualifiers and looking pretty solid at the LAN event itself. So, hype was high around this team going into stage 2. On the other side though, 100 Thieves were also switching IGLs. Only problem was that their change came days before this match. After missing out on Toronto and not winning a map at the Esports World Cup, 100 Thieves finally decided to make a change, benching their world champion IGL Boostia for Challengers player Kess, who most recently played on Core Esports but had a longer experience and more impact on his previous team, Nightblood Gaming. This roster change would move Xander over to IGL, a role that he's experienced in but has only done during his time in Tier 2 with M80 and way back with version 1. Nonetheless, this would be an exciting game between two of the biggest orgs in the game. This series would open on Bind, a map that's pretty historically solid for both sides. NRG would pick pretty close to a standard double initiator comp, but would put Ethan on KO as their second initiator. This is something they tried out during kickoff with varying success, but they clearly believe in this pick. And on the other side, 100 Thieves would pick a double duelist comp, with Cryo on Yoru and Asuna on Raze. 100 Thieves would be pretty clean this opening half, taking a very strong 9-3 lead, and their newly appointed IGL putting up a 12-5 half. NRG would open the second half strong though, with 4 rounds in a row. And they'd build up their momentum quite a bit, getting the game all the way to 10-11, but 100 Thieves would be able to close the last 2 rounds, taking the map at 13-10. The second map, Sunset, would show interesting comps from both sides. Starting with 100 Thieves, they'd pick a double duelist comp, with Asuna on Neon and Cryo on Yoru, but the rest of the comp would be pretty basic, with Sova, Omen, and Cypher. On the side of NRG, they'd be playing a double smokes comp with Omen Viper, something we were seeing quite a bit at Masters Toronto. On top of that, they'd also be picking Deadlock as their sole Sentinel, with Neon and Sova as the duelist and initiator. This map would start with 100 Thieves taking the pistol and the anti-eco, but the bonus round is where it got really exciting.
The back. Stun ricocheting. Kess is ready with a Spectre.
Oh yeah, just farm him. Just for Ace! Ace! Let me know my youngin' is acing! Give it to him. Give it to him. This is what you're best at, Asuna. Baiting for your teammates! Let's go, man! An ace for the rookie Kess would set the standard for the rest of the map, with 100 Thieves taking a 10-2 half and closing the map at 13-4, giving them the series at 2-0, and an incredible start for this iteration of the roster.
Quick pivot, quick rotation, but this is it, surely. Brock is going to do it with just a Guardian, just to stay alive, just to keep the team active, and a double face called 100 Thieves. Shock us all!
The final series of the weekend would be Sentinels versus G2, which was insane. I mean, this is literally a grand finals match in the first weekend of stage... G2 played with who? Leaf is currently taking a break due to some health issues, so we were given quite a treat in this match. Former professional player for FaZe and current caster BabyBay made his return to the server to replace one of the best Sentinel players in the world on one of the best teams in the world. And although BabyBay is a very experienced esports veteran, this is technically his first time playing at a VCT lane. So does that make him a rookie then? Let's not worry about that and talk about their opponent. Despite back-to-back second place finishes regionally, Sentinels have struggled a bit internationally this year. They did pick up a 5th place finish at Toronto, which is an improvement, but still not where they want to be. But they sure wouldn't be upset about how this series started. This would be another series starting on the new map Corrode, and we'd be seeing 2 more Viper Omen compositions, with Sentinels playing the Smokers alongside Vice, Neon, and Fade, while G2 would play them alongside Vice, Yoru, and Sova. Sentinels would start this map on attack, and completely dominate, taking a 10-2 lead. But who cares about that, when G2 VCT A Player 1 is on the server?
Everyone gets away into this side, and now Sentinels, whenever you're playing a post fight on B, you have so many angles to go for.
It's BabyBay in a 1v3. VCT A Player 1, more like.
It doesn't even have a name, Christy.
G2 would come back a bit in the second half, but Sen would close the map at 13-8. The second map, Ascent would show us a comp similar to what Sentinels have played before, but with some changes, having Zelsis and John QT switching their agents around, and having Zekken being on Yoru instead of Jet. But who cares? BabyBay's on Chamber!
That's the first stun primed, just by, hold on, BabyBay!
BabyBay?
That can't feel good either, oh my word. BabyBay starts and closes the round.
Nice shots from him.
Oh my goodness, he's so back! G2 would dominate this map, going up 9-3 and closing the map at 13-6, sending the series to the final map Lotus. On this last map, we wouldn't see too much different from either side in terms of comps compared to what they've played previously. G2 would go up 8-4 in this half, but the most important round of this half was obviously round 8.
Bringing the Prowler over here for a little clear.
Yeah, Andre.
BabyBay.
Andre!
Sentinels.
Useless ult? No, never mind. Okay. Andre got one more!
Before the
Bang!
takes him down.
Uh-huh. Let's see the up shot. Bam! Come on, bro. He doesn't even play the game. He casts.
G2 would open the second half with the pistol and anti-eco, going up 10-4. But Sentinels were not about to be ridiculed for the rest of the year because they lost to a caster.
He knows who these players are. He's done good to bring it down to all on his own. And Narrate takes it. Sentinels will best G2 in week 1.
Yeah, you barely got away with that one. Don't be too happy, Sen City. And that's it for VCT Americas Stage 2 Week 1. Is this video late? Yes. Don't worry about that though. If you're seeing this video on the day I released it, I'm probably streaming right now, so come say hi. I also make short form content, so subscribe or check out my socials in the description. Anyways, that's it from me.